Something a little different today. A package arrived on the reclaimed railway. Instagram, give them a bit of a follow and whatnot. It's got some cool stuff on there, and every once in a while you get the opportunity to put your hands on something like this. So you can be as excited as I am. Let's say the delivery driver was not happy. In a moment, you probably understand why. Now, with no idea what they've actually come off, but we do know it's wrought iron. So I'm going to take a chunk of that. You can see the grain in it, look. I'm going to forge some little funky skull keyringy things. So I need some physio for my shoulder. And then we'll have a little look. Today, a bit of chain you've already seen us chop off, which is here. It was here. Well, that's warming up. I'm going to use a few tools. A little diddy ball peen hammer. We've got a smiley face chisel. And we've got a normal chisel. And a centre punch. And what we're going to do is we're going to come out the fire, give a quick scuff up, and then I'm going to go to the press. And just square the tops off because it's all roughly shaped. I'll start putting the faces for the squares on because you've got more control. I'm going to come out, go to the power hammer, dress it into a more rectangular bar. Then we go back to the fire. Out of the fire, I'm going to come back to the anvil. I'm going to round over the head a bit. We'll have a rough profile in it. Round over the head and get some of the shape of the head. Hopefully all in one heat. Probably 2, maybe 3. Back to the fire. Then we come back to the anvil. I'm going to mark out where the eye sockets are so we get hopefully a nice position. I can sit that ball peen on my marks. And take it from that, go back into the press, a bit blurry. I use the press to squeeze the eye sockets in. A little bit of dressing again, perhaps to the power hammer, maybe by hand. And then we chisel the face and everything into it, and the smiley face, or whichever face we decide. We haven't decided yet. So, you'll have to bear with some of the sounds, because we've got to turn the fans and things off in the background in between. And I'll try and talk about it as I go, but you've got an idea, you've seen the tools. Basically, we're ready to go. Right, it's been a while because real life's got in the way since we forged this one that you saw. So you saw that one being made. I made another one at a similar time because Mr. Horn, well, it's always nice to have a choice, isn't it? So we've got two different styles there, and you can see they've just had the corners dressed over and stuff, which we just did with the belt grinder. I didn't video any of this because it's kind of boring to watch really, and they've been in the shot blaster, so they've had a good blasting. Take all the scale off, smooths any sharp edges and faces that's left and gives it a bit of texture, and it also gives you a better etch. And on the tub here we have hydrochloric acid, or muriatic acid I think they call it, various other parts of the world, and these will both go in there for about a 5-hour bath, give or take a few hours depending on the temperature. And then we've got a base solution which is bicarbonate soda and water, and then they'll go in there to neutralise them off, stop them all going rusty, and then they'll get blasted again to clean them all up, make them nice and shiny like they are now, and then they'll be ready for protecting with a clear coat lacquer. So I'll let you see them when they've had another blast and they've had some texture, and see what you think. Right, it's had a good long etch, 5 hours in fact, in muriatic, whatever you call it, acid, hydrochloric acid to us, and then finished off in ferric chloride, and that's just helps. And then it's going to get banged in a milling machine, that's why it's stood here, and drilled and tapped, and then it's going to come over here to the shot blasting cabinet. Shift dogs. In the words of Blue Peter, here's one I prepared earlier. This is one of the others. You can see the detail kept. We're using a fine micron glass bead. No. Which, as you can see, is like salt. Really, really fine. That keeps the detail. We'll see all these beautiful little fissures and cracks in the wrought iron. So you get to see that in high speed because this thing makes a racket and that thing makes a racket. So enjoy. So these were something different. I don't know what you think of these. Should make a cool gear knob. Not this one. This one's available, but the other one's a gear knob. Feels weird talking to a skull. Isn't this out of some famous film where he's like talking to a skull like that?
Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him so well. Shakespeare.
But yeah, do all the usual YouTubery stuff and like, subscribe and all that. Subscribing's free, you know, and it does help, so it'd be nice. And if you want something like this, give us a shout on Instagram. See what we can do.